I hate e-drama and the autistic ecosystem it nourishes. Find it about as engaging as marinating my nuts in witch hazel. As evidence of this, I'd point to the fact that from amazing atheist to movie knob, I rarely, if ever, engage anyone unless it's in direct retaliation. But some people prefer Risperdal to reason, and like Angry Joe in a narrow hallway, some encounters simply are unavoidable. And so when Angry Joe slid, or rather rolled, into my mentions this past week, I shook it off and went about my day. And then he kept rolling. And rolling like Snoop Dogg with an O-bag. So finally, after addressing his facile procession of whataboutisms, watching him waddle clean the fuck past my counter-arguments, culminating in repeated accusations of being a, quote, blatant partisan hypocrite, I let fly a couple jokes at his expense, one of which made reference to his man-witch makeover immediately after the election. My sincere apologies, you fucking prick. I didn't know you could catch diabetes from eating your own words. At which point Joe imbibed in a game of wits, while forgetting that he lacks the game pieces, proffering truly incisive commentary like, "You wear leather," and capping it off with, wait for it, "Your belt is spiky." Biting rejoinder indeed in a world where even mainstream pop stars are wearing full-body fuck harnesses and bondage gear on stage. Any other up-to-date fashion quips you'd like to dig up from 1999? Pop punk maybe? Jinko's, the name of your real fucking father? Try popping a Xanax and moving amongst the people on occasion, you Santino Morella looking fuck. Yeah, sorry we can't all dress like 2002 finishing our fucking face, cranky Carlos. If being lean for the kill, long-haired, and leather-bedecked precluded procreation, I'm sure that Johnny Depp guy never gets fucking laid. Me apologizing for dressing how I want and not freebasing cookie dough would be like me apologizing for ranting articulately and at high speed, which I can understand might hold innate appeal for someone who sounds like Porky Pig in a paint shaker without a teleprompter and a fleet of fucking jump cuts to cover his talentless ass. Maybe your school teacher, when she wasn't furiously hiding the rubber cement and tightening the chin strap on your fucking helmet, should have imparted to you the sacred knowledge of how to speak the English language and dress yourself without deferring to a fucking committee. At least when you're not playing Sailor Moon dress up for comedy sketches so aggressively unfunny, even your laugh track needs a 2-drink minimum, peppered with tepid takes and video game opinions so pedestrian they install a crosswalk on your tongue. Hey gang, did you know Fallout 4 is the shit? Until everyone hates it, that is, then it's not. Sweepingly original insight, AJ. I'm deeply sorry for pointing out your chin has more sequels than Star Wars. I'd tell you to review that, but I don't know how you'd write a cringy cosplay sketch about how your head went from a pinto bean to a beach ball in 6 months or fucking less. What the fuck is your blood type, Alfredo? Never mind your manufactured ass, man of the people, voice of the gamers horse shit.
Does he not realize that I represent you guys? That I represent a bunch of core gamers?
Putting aside how alarmingly often you shit on your own audience for merely asking you to make videos, as I pointed out years ago, you didn't give a flock of fucks about YouTube copyright crushing our free expression so long as Blip TV's censorious platform was parking payola up your ass. Suddenly, the moment you had to flee back to fucking YouTube to pay your rent, you've got to sing a 9-act opera about the injustice everyone who genuinely gave a fuck was already calling out years fucking previously. I said it then and I'll say it now. I find it profoundly hypocritical that many of the same voices who fell conspicuously silent, Angry Joe, when Google Plus was forcibly integrated into the site, a month back at the expense of our privacy, suddenly elected to pipe right the fuck up now that Google's earth-rending incompetence is cutting into their bottom line. Perturbed Pedro, you see, is the raw distillation of lefty cognitive dissonance. Namely, no problem in the world is truly a problem right up until it becomes their problem. I think we all remember the $7 in my wallet fiasco.
Yes, I do. I have $7 because you took all this and you fucking pocketed it. This is the only fucking shit you people care about!
And here I thought Hangry Joe was one of the richest men on YouTube. At least if you go by square inch. It's the same problem I have with many people on the left. If the plight of the downtrodden concerns you so much, don't try and vote it away. That only enriches a government with an active incentive to keep it that way. If social problems are getting them repeatedly elected, why would they want them solved, Sophocles? Dislodge your corpulent digits from your dumper and goddamn do something, you barely-ass cognizant tamale repository. If you're genuinely concerned about the plight of the put-upon illegal immigrants, why the pan-fried fuck haven't you lifted your Vienna cocktail sausage fingers from your box of bonbons and volunteered in fucking Mexico already? I did, and I'm a selfish fucking prick. Unlike your skull, It ain't hard. Get in a car and go there. Hell, you're in Texas. You can make it there after a good evening swim. Andale, Spurgy Gonzalez. Not that you aren't a positive role model, mind ya. If outraged Alejandro can rack up 1 million subs playing dress up in front of a fucking green screen between jump cut cringe, then evidently all you need to make it on YouTube is a webcam that works and a brain, premise, and audience that doesn't. But of all critiques to hitch your ho-ho to, Razor never criticizes Trump. Perk in ear, you autistic asteroid, because I've explained this at least 11 fucking times, and I have no intention of repeating it again. Not only did I not originally support Trump in the primaries, I excoriated his Oompa Loompa-looking ass over Syria, and I will now quote, "If Trump goes to war with Syria, the only second term I'll support will be in prison." Unfucking quote, you disingenuous ass canoe. I was openly critical of Trump extending the quarantine to April 30th, and I still am. I'm not wild about him invoking executive powers to impel production of ventilators at GM, effectively fucking nationalizing US industry in the process. I'm a persnickety sort about silly shit like the Constitution, but fuck it, because I'm honest enough to admit we're all of us out of our depth on exactly how to deal with the commie cough, and the president is no exception. This to you constitutes unforgivable forbearance. No fuckwit, whoever told you a beard is double chin camouflage showed unforgivable forbearance. What I did is called giving the benefit of the fucking doubt. Like most of your critiques, this is weapons grade projection. Angry Joe has his lips buried so far up AOC's ass he looks like an anteater with collagen injections. And so anyone not actively thirsting after a commie cunt or fence-sitting so hard their butthole bonds with it at the subatomic level must be biased or hypocritical to the Grand Duke of dispassionate analysis. Angry Joe, the man who cornered Jeff Keighley for no reason but fucking spite, and somehow made him look more competent as a result.
There's no MMOs.
Well, we have a best PC game category. Civ's nominated, StarCraft's nominated.
What happened to MMOs?
For Studio of the Year. What MMOs should have been nominated for Game of the Year this year?
There are so many MMOs, like Dungeon Fighter Online. There's one example. You could also, what other games? Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy MMO?
Yeah.
This year.
Not this year. Not this year.
Exactly. Didn't come out this year. Yeah, the
It's
independent game, which is not what it is this year. You're telling me MMO should be nominated for Game of the Year, yet you can't name the MMOs it should be.
Look,
and you're telling me that you don't know who's voting on the awards when it's public. So, I mean, come on, man. You have these rants.
Look,
they're thinly veiled.
They're not thinly veiled, okay?
I know when I need to bathe in the headwaters of objectivity, the cat who called half the country Nazis on election night is first on my fucking list.
This is what all the scared white men and women voted for. Let's ban all Muslims from entering the United States. Trump called for it. Okay, ban all Muslims.
If you voted for Trump, these are your fellow constituents. These are the type of people that voted. The angry, pissed off white men. I didn't realize there was such a large percentage of people really scared and misled, and I'm sure the exit polls. And you can refute me if you want, but I guarantee you the majority of people that voted for Trump are uneducated.
Here's a helpful recap, you cuck. Alexandria Ocasio-Chavez has been unremittingly shitting on Trump for doing dick, all the while making Mai Tais before an audience of social media meme monkeys.
They want to continue to get away with doing far too little. And in this moment, there's no such thing as doing too much. 2 ounces of lime juice, just putting that in here.
This despite her district being one of the principal epicenters of this outbreak. Oh, but she finds plenty of time to push for open borders from fucking quarantine. A layman might call that fiddle fucking while Rome coofs or some shit. I pointed out the irony. End the fuck of. I wasn't taking exception to her making goddamn drinks. Christ knows white knight AOC supporters like yourself are so fucking thirsty you could fucking use one. Not that I expect a man who spent election eve 2016 unironically alleging half the country are racist to comprehend the concept of gradient fucking nuance. Point being, I don't come to where you work and slap the Kojima cock out of your mouth. How about you leave the big issues for the big boys? The truth is, we're all rolling the dice here. Anyone, from Trevor Noah to Pissed Porfirio, who answers the question, what should we do to fix the current pandemic, in the resounding, doubtless affirmative, is an inveterate bullshit merchant of the lowest, roundest possible order, and you should ignore them at Mach speed. AOC and other assorted fuckwits were calling him a fascist for 4 years, so he defers to the states in this lone instance, at which point you complain he's not authoritarian enough? You're lucky T-Rump doesn't take to the podium and tell you all the fuck clean off. If he wanted, he could leave it solely to the states, as several presidents have during previous pandemics, and he'd be well within his rights to fucking do so. Strange as it may sound, Joe, Americans were once adult enough to acknowledge that it is not the purview of the federal government to play fucking nursemaid to every U.S. resident, illegal and otherwise. But you're right, Joe, Donald Trump has committed one crime. If your show's any indication, he only deports the funny Latinos. I'm Razor Fist. Stay in your fucking lane, bitch.
Pissed José, 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 Pissed José.
Hello everybody, it's me again, Pissed José. You probably thought I was gone, but I wasn't. I was just working and flexing out my muscles, man. I never left. Anyhow, oh man, whoa, that's too much work. It's so good to be able to breathe again, But just remember, anybody who voted for Trump, you guys are Pol Pot, Che Guevara, and Sammy Guevara, all rolled up into one, There's only 2 cities in America, New York and LA, and everything in between, Oklahoma, Alabama, Newfoundland, and Candyland, all those are little pockets of evil. I call them ball pockets, We're gonna have a big old ball party in here, Anytime a Trump voter gets a new MAGA hat, I grow a new chin in solidarity, I mean, I'm not even joking. Look at this shit, man. Oh man, I got more rolls than Panera, More chins than a Chinatown phone book. You probably never heard that one ever, Anyhow, take care and vote for Bernie, that way I can continue to have oranges in my patch fields. Hey, real quick, listen to me, I love you, and I can prove it, because I voted for Bernie, Just remember, if all this shit with the Corona beers comes crashing down, just remember, may we all die valiantly with pineapples in our thrusters.
Pissed José, 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 Pissed José.